Hey, what's up YouTube? Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time, but I'm ready to get started with more Kaiju number 8. I'm gonna make this quick. So I didn't review last month's chapter 115 because, well, not much happened. Chapter 115 was simply a chapter designed to remind us that Hoshina is, and always will be, the GOAT and have Mina's back when she needs him the most, which is a touching callback to when he was about to die at the hands of Kaiju number 10 and she stepped in and saved him. Hoshina finally gets to return that favor after all these years, which made for a very good moment. Bako and Bako fans such as myself can breathe a sigh of relief because a lot of us thought that Bako would get capital C cooked attempting to rescue Mina. We were also treated to the appearance of Captain Narumi as well. This is a duo I think Matsumoto has been waiting to draw, fighting side by side for a long time now. I know it is because, well, he went all in on the art for chapter 116. Not to mention, to my surprise, we actually got more pages out of this man. Matsumoto doesn't really come back to hit us with more pages after he takes a break. It's usually the exact same amount of pages found in our regularly scheduled programming, but not this time. I hope this is a trend whenever Kaiju number 8 returns from a long break. Suffice it to say, if Matsumoto cooks more, I will gladly eat more. But like I said, there wasn't much to chapter 115 other than telling us, hey, Goat Shina and Narumi are here, hooray. Chapter 116 is the real meat and potatoes. Now let's be honest, all of us already predicted that this fight wasn't going to be swayed by the appearance of either Hoshina, I hate to say it, or Narumi with his wannabe esports pro act he puts on. Both of them were going to fight a losing battle to begin with, but boy was it cool to watch. The chapter starts off and gives us a little backstory on the two of them, their history together, the day they met, as well as the beef that Narumi has with Hoshina. As per usual, Narumi is the one with the one-sided beef with yet another member of the force. Narumi is just out here catching L's with this ego trip he's always on. He didn't like Hoshina from day one at first glance because it reminded him of someone else, which just so happens to be Hoshina's brother, Soichiro, captain of the I Do Not Remember division. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. When he becomes a more relevant character, I'll remember his division, but for now, he is the captain of the I Do Not Remember division. So Narumi decided to peep Hoshina's power level one day while he was talent scouting on the training grounds nearby, and apparently was so impressed with Hoshina's form that he made a red carpet attempt to recruit him into Division 1. I say red carpet because Narumi brought half of his division's platoon leaders with him, in person mind you, and went full Chunibyo in the process like the socially awkward clown that he is. I mean, Narumi and his gang pulled up on Hoshina like this was Windbreaker. And is that a Rubik's Cube I see? What the crap? Anyway, yeah, so Narumi is like, I'll accept your request to join my clan. And Hoshina is like, I didn't ask for a clan invite though, dog. That type of rejection right in front of the squad too. If this was IRL gang activity, that would have to be paid in blood, no two ways about it. We know Narumi's ego was hurt. And then Hoshina went on to break his CQC records within the Force too? First his pride, then his ego. The only thing Hoshina hasn't stepped on is Narumi's manhood. So as far as Narumi's concerned, it's on site. I'd like to say that Narumi was big enough to put aside his one-sided beef with Hoshina to co-op Kaiju number 0, but honestly, I think this man really does not care if Hoshina is nearby and gets hurt in the process, which is funny. Also, to Narumi's credit, if you were closely paying attention to detail in this battle, not one time did Narumi use his new Future Sight ability. He primarily stuck to its base form. So with that in mind, still being able to keep up with Kaiju 0 for as long as he does is impressive and no small feat. He has the excuse of not fighting at full strength, and I think it's a detail that Matsumoto probably wants you to notice. Remember the last time Narumi fought Kaiju number 11? He used Future Sight 2.0 and nearly fried his neurosynapses, presumably due to the astronomical amounts of information that was flooding into his brain while the ability was active. I assume at some point it'll come out again. I refuse to believe that his Future Sight level 2 is just some one and done type power up. That just doesn't make much sense from a writing perspective. Okay, so both of our boys get to a slicing and a dicing. The Defense Force operators glaze Narumi and Hoshina for even being able to fight so close to Narumi, since fighting within a 100-meter radius again should mean instant death. During the altercation, Kaiju 10 also wants to fight Narumi, who he sees as just another kaiju. I think adding Kaiju number 1's stitching all over Narumi's mouth is a nice touch to drive that point home that he has essentially released the maximum potential of Kaiju 1, and in number 10's eyes, looks exactly like Kaiju number 1. There's also this sweet moment of Hoshina showing concern for Kafka, who is currently still down and out as he resolves to keep him out of harm's way after using his power so much. So, like we knew would eventually happen, things begin to go sideways as soon as Narumi and Hoshina launch their signature attacks back to back. With clean, surgical precision, Kaiju Zero just stops both attackers dead in their tracks. Because, like it or not, Kaiju Zero is now the central villain, and as a general shonen-style writing rule, the main baddie can only be taken down by the hero of the story. Now, it looks as though Kaiju number 0 is about to burst forth out of Kaiju 9's corpse that it has been hijacking this entire time. I believe Kaiju 9's corpse shell was actually holding the full power of Kaiju 0 back in a weird way. That's both bad for our heroes and actually very exciting at the same time. And that's not even the most exciting part of this chapter either. No, the most exciting part goes to the best boy of the manga, Mr. Kafka Hibino himself, who is literally chilling in the sunken place, drowning. I seriously need to look up why whenever characters in manga are knocked out, they get thrown into a mind palace that's just this massive abyss of blackness and water. There's gotta be some kind of reasoning behind that. Kaiju number 8 isn't the only series that does this exact same visual imagery. If any of you know why, please tell me in the comments. So, Kafka is still cognizant of what is happening around him, but cannot move or take action, which is actually frightening when you think about it. He wants to return to the fray and help defeat Kaiju Zero, but is helpless to do so, and that is until he begins to hear a still small voice within his mind, speaking back to his inner thoughts. "What do you desire?" it says. "Is continuing to fight what you desire?" To which Kafka responds, "Who are you?" "No. It doesn't matter who you are. That is my desire. I do not care what happens to me. I want to join Mina and my other teammates and fight." I swear you can hear Eren somewhere in the distance going, "Yes! Tatakai!" All jokes aside, we finally get some concrete evidence on this whole Ryune Shrine Phantom Samurai situation. The voice that Kafka was speaking to materializes itself as the samurai from the shrine, and then he beckons Kafka to come and form a stronger connection with us, which is a strange choice of words. I swear Matsumoto never fails to have some kind of cliffhanger at the end of every freaking chapter, but at least we have clarification that the samurai, the Phantom Samurai, and Kaiju number 8 are connected in some way. So I have no doubt that this is probably a former Kaiju number 8 user. Before, I was skeptical because we didn't have enough proof to go off of, but this chapter right here pretty much confirms it. I'm just trying to figure out why this guy said form a stronger connection with us. Keyword us. Likely meaning the samurai and Kaiju number 8 are some kind of hybrid amalgamation right now. However, we do have one thread to help connect it all, and that is the memories held within the core of a kaiju, similar to how Kikoru can tap into Kaiju number 4's memories of Hikari Shinomiya, or how Isao was presumably able to overpower Kaiju number 9, who was abusing Kaiju number 2's powers for a brief moment a few chapters back. The memories of people previously connected with said kaiju have a way of bubbling to the surface in some form or fashion. It is potentially the same thing with the Phantom Samurai here. I smell a power-up. I think we all smell a power-up. But maybe this Phantom Samurai will impart some new techniques onto my boy too? Who knows? The sky's pretty much the limit, since Kafka has only had 2 slight power-ups since this manga began. One was when he was taken over by 8 the first time while fighting Isao, and the other was while secretly training with Narumi to control number 8 for 1 minute. People have been waiting for this one, and so have I. Kafka was due for a major power-up slash transformation by this point in the story, and this chapter was absolute peak. So I feel like Matsumoto will deliver on whatever this new awakening will be. I'm not even going to get into what could potentially happen with Kafka's kaijuification afterward. I think we all suspected at some point he was going to have to go over the limit to save the day. I'm feeling pretty engaged in the story of this arc so far, and I'm hoping some pretty interesting developments come out of this one. That is the end of the video. As always, let me know what you guys think of the chapters in the comments. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, then thumbs up the video and consider subscribing for more. That'll be all, folks. God bless. Peace.